verse 7. We thank God for a divine worship dance ministry. Amen. Amen. We thank God for them coming to worship God through dance without apprehension or fear. And we thank God for they blessed us this morning. Amen. Amen. Proverbs chapter 20. Proverbs chapter 20.
All right, Doc.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse number 7. All who are able, please stand for the reading of God's holy word. Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs chapter 20. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 7. New King James says this. The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children, watch this, y'all, are blessed after him. Turn to say, neighbor, if I look busy, it's because I'm planting seeds. You may be seated in the house this morning on this Men's Day celebration morning service. I want to put a tag on this text and preach and teach from the topic, planting seeds. Planting seeds. Asbury, I wholeheartedly believe in the spiritual principle of the law of reciprocity. The law of reciprocity states in its essence that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Smile at another person and they'll possibly smile back at you. Be critical of others. Point out every little thing and they will respond in kind. As you give, people of God, you will receive. Give generously and you'll receive in like measure. See, with this principle, it causes me to be careful of my actions, be them good or ill, as they will come back to me. Please don't think you are immune to this principle. There is nothing you can say or do that can make you exempt from the law of reciprocity. You can call it what you want. Call it karma, call it the golden rule. But the truth is, whatever you put out in the atmosphere, whatever you put out in the universe, be it immediate or in due season, it will come back to you. In other words, people of God, you have planted a seed in the earth and it will produce into something. The problem is we are afraid of what it shall produce. See, this is why you have to ask yourself daily, men, what seeds have you planted? And before you convince yourself that you have never done anything wrong to anybody in your life and that you are simply a victim of circumstance because you are an angel descended from heaven, please allow your mind to hit the rewind button and show you when you lied, show you when you cheated, show you when you acted like a spoiled brat, show you when you gossiped, showed you when you were selfish, showed you when you looked out for a number one and nobody else, showed you when you cut corners or even when you acted out of your Christian character. People of God, what seeds have you planted in your life? See, every now and then, my Asbury family, you should do a spiritual inventory of your behavior, praying that it lines up with who God needs you to be. See, I don't care how pious and how holy you look on Sunday morning. There are some things you've done in your days. There have been some activities in the months of your years that you are not happy with, that you are not proud of, and you have to back up and say, God, please, I apologize. God, forgive me for the negative seeds I've planted. God, forgive me for when I went my way and not your way. God, forgive me when I was so indignant and did not do what you told me to do. You got to make sure you're living right, Asbury, in thought, word, and deed. What seeds have you planted? You see, as we celebrate Men's Day, God is calling the men of this house to lead in a new and creative way because there are some seeds that have been planted. Follow me here. See, yes, be aware of the seeds you planted in the earth because as a man, one who is called to lead and set the groundwork of a society. So you must not allow frivolousness and waywardness to be your focus, but you must stand to be the example at all times. Okay, check this out, men. You must decide on your leadership role, because you know when you don't take an action on a thing, that's still an action. When you choose not to do something, guess what? You still did something. Your inaction still sends a message. Well, I'm so glad on this Sunday morning there is a message today coming from the book of Proverbs for the men in this house. See, the author of Proverbs, we know, is King Solomon. What we know about him is he asked God for wisdom to rule over God's people. He was one of the greatest kings of the Bible, and in the middle of his reign, Brother Malloy, Solomon writes much of his wisdom down to help those yet to come. See, this is what I know, Reverend Pitts. Wisdom is nothing unless you share it. See, folk gather all this wisdom in their life. They think they know everything and everybody, but then they hoard it to themselves. See, when you share it, folk must be in a position to receive it. You've been there before. Your parent trying to tell you something, and it goes in one ear and out of the other. You were not in a position to receive it. And this is what you got to understand, Asbury. This is not Solomon's first day at the rodeo. He already gave you some great nuggets on wisdom in the book of Proverbs. But were you in a position to receive it? He already told you a good name is to be chosen rather than riches. He already said, honor the Lord with your possessions and with the first fruit of all your increases. He said, write these on the tablets of your heart. He told you the memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall write. He even told you to stop being so bougie and arrogant and stuck up, because a merry heart does good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries up your bones. See, he gave you nuggets of wisdom, Asbury, but just in case you didn't catch it, just in case you were distracted, he gave something specific for the men. See, in the 20th chapter of Proverbs, the object of this wisdom is to check your behavior, because your behavior follows you. I think I said something right there. See, he declared in the text, the righteous man walks in his integrity because his children are blessed after him. Men, your behavior is the seed that will follow you. Preach, Dr. Whipple. See, you must make up in your mind today what the tone of the next generations of your family will be. What you mean, Pastor Whipple? They ain't even got here yet. But what you do today is going to affect folk yet to come. See, that if they will be lazy if you are lazy. They will be inconsistent if you are inconsistent. But they will aspire if you aspire. Your seed will come to what you project. And let me come help you right here. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you did not go to Morgan State University. You may not have gone to Loyola, and you may not have a good government job. But your actions that you do project onto your children. The actions you do project onto your grandchildren. If you gossip all the time, they gonna gossip all the time. If you like to start messing the church, they gonna start messing the church. If they act like they the victim, they got a good example from you. They only gonna act like what you project. And you gotta ask yourself, what role will I take as it will influence the next 3 generations of my family? As the men are leading the way, planting seeds that will ultimately grow. There are just 2 things you got to pay attention to in this text. Verse 7 starts off by boldly proclaiming, the righteous man walks in his integrity. First point, men, walk in your integrity. Yes. Planting seeds through God causes you to walk in integrity. Watch this. The key word here, y'all, is righteous man. See, we already know a righteous man is not a perfect man. And let me come help you, ladies. Please don't think the perfect man is going to walk through that door and sweep you off your feet. He may not be bald-headed, chocolate skin with a six-pack. Yes, he may have a 45-inch waist, but he'll treat you better than you treat yourself. You gotta understand a righteous man will not be a model in a magazine, but he'll treat you like you the only thing on the earth. A righteous man will be the one who leaves out to go to work in the morning, and he'll come straight home at the end of the day. A righteous man, see, a righteous man is one who seeks to live a lifestyle focused on morality and justice. Is there anybody here who can thank God for the righteous men in your life? He's a God-centered man. He wants to go to church even if you don't feel like it. He gonna get up and pray when you feel like mumbling. You gotta thank God for the righteous men in your life. See, in addition, Asbury, we know integrity is what you do when nobody is looking. See, the problem is we got so many show-me Christians in the faith. All you want is a microphone and a platform and a pulpit, and you want to show your black behind. But what will you do when ain't nobody looking? What will you do when ain't nobody telling you to tithe? What will you do when it is you and God and an open opportunity? I need some folk in here who say, God, help me with my integrity. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. Help me with my integrity. And let me come help you. Don't you dare point the finger at somebody else if they slipped up in life, because all you really need is the right person, an open door, and an opportunity, and you don't know what you would do.